Welcome back to Got the Morbs. It's your friend Erin.
And Beth.
And Ken.
We've got something for you today.
Yes. Victorian mourning customs.
Ooh.
This could be like a whole series, but I tried to pare it down.
Did you choose it because of our name, Got the Morbs, being Victorian slang?
No, I read something about something and it spurred the idea.
Gotcha.
If I had to pick an era that was the most morbid, I mean, that's it.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah, it
And you will
comes
see
it's
why.
hand in hand.
Of course.
I actually have a trigger warning.
Oh.
I figured I should put it on here.
What?
I don't know.
They should all have trigger
Well,
warnings,
they should,
really.
but I don't know. This one, I just felt like I had to say something first. So the content warnings would be death and dying, including descriptions of infant and child death, and discussion of repurposing human remains.
Oh, I think that's fine.
I just like saying repurposing human remains.
Yeah.
Okay. I also made a note. A lot of my research came from a book called The Victorian Book of the Dead. It's by Chris Woodyard, who I discovered wrote all 7 Haunted Ohio books.
Really?
Those are the ones we used to take out of the
Yes.
library all the time.
Yes, we did.
Okay. So what was considered the Victorian era was 1837 to 1901, and that was the entire reign of Queen Victoria of England. She was responsible for coming up with most of the mourning customs, actually. Her husband / first cousin,
Oh.
Prince Albert
In a can.
of Saxe, Coburg, and Gotha, which may explain all of the black.
What?
He was Goth.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Prince Albert of piercing fame. Penis piercing.
What?
That's what it's called, right?
I don't know what you're talking
When
about.
a guy has his penis pierced, it's a Prince Albert piercing.
Oh, God,
yes,
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 yes.
yes.
So he must have had one, or else why would they name it after him?
Or else why?
So anyways, he died in 1861, and Queen Victoria mourned him for the rest of her life, which was 40 years. For 40 years, she followed all of these mourning customs.
Damn.
She also popularized the white wedding dress, Christmas trees, and china patterns. She was an influencer, an early influencer.
Nice.
During that era, there were formal rules for pretty much every aspect of life that we consider excessive nowadays, particularly around mourning. So I think I read this in that book. The act of mourning was a, quote, frequent and public affair due to high infant mortality, casualties of war, epidemics, poor sanitation, inadequate nutrition, lack of medical care, accidents, etc.
Pretty much everything.
The average lifespan at the time was 50 years, and people considered deaths to be either good or bad. So they always wanted, their loved ones to have a good death, not a bad one. So a good death would be dying peacefully in bed with your family, friends, and clergy around you. And a bad death would be alone with no one to mourn you and no one to give you last rites.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of dying, here's some common ways that people died back then.
This is your favorite part?
No, the uncommon ways is my favorite part. But okay, common ways to die.
Horse mob.
Diseases spread freely because nobody understood germs. So diphtheria, diphtheria, a bacterial inflammation of the mucous membranes in your nose and throat. So a false membrane would grow over your larynx,
Ew.
and it would keep you from breathing and swallowing.
Yuck.
And then it would lead to fatal heart and nerve damage from toxins in your blood. I was hoping,
Glad that's over.
Yeah, it sounded way grosser than that, but
It sounds pretty gross.
typhus, which is not the same as typhoid. It was rampant because every place was overcrowded, unsanitary. It was spread by infected fleas, lice, and chiggers. Ugh, I hate that word. Ugh. Chiggers are mites.
Eek.
Yeah, they're like little.
Blech. Anyway, so they would cause high fever, severe headache, body aches, rash, vomiting, would lead to kidney failure, brain inflammation. It was very common in children. It was kind of known as like a children's disease. And then cholera spread through water contaminated with sewage,
Oh.
even though everybody thought it was spread through the air. That's why they couldn't get rid of it, because they were still drinking the poop water. Causes stomach cramps, diarrhea, vomiting, severe pain in your arms and legs with severe dehydration. Dehydration possible. Severe dehydration possible. And this is the really gross part. Cold, damp skin
Ew.
and a, quote, flabby white tongue.
What?
Oh, yeah. You guys haven't had a flabby white tongue before?
Yuck.
Were they
So,
still chucking their turds out their windows?
I don't know if it was
at
going
that
out
time?
the window.
Did they
But-
have like sewage systems and sanitation systems back? I
I
don't
think
know.
they still had like bedpans or whatever.
Yeah.
Chamber
Yeah.
pots.
It just all went into the, I don't remember what I was
Avenues and
saying.
alleyways.
Yeah, like gutters
Yeah.
and yeah.
Every
Get that?
alleyway and
There you go.
every avenue.
I have no idea what that is.
Right, that song.
Dynamite.
What?
What?
Not
I got
a
me some
disease,
dynamite.
Blowing
Not a
each other up.
disease.
Oh.
but dynamite was common as a cause of death because
Yeah.
the thing that I read said it was used casually as a household product.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then this is a great band name,
Oh, gosh.
the Crinoline Holocaust. That is what the journalists of the time called it. I call it death by hoop skirt. So thousands of women caught fire and burned to death from brushing past candles or lamps.
Whoa.
Or they were stabbed or disemboweled by the metal frame of the hoop.
Oh, my
Like-
God.
Was it that bad? They were stabbing themselves on their.
Disemboweled.
Oh, my God. I never
That
heard
is
that. Oh.
Wild. Lethal arsenic dyes were used in clothing. So sometimes, I guess, if people like sweat and get it in their pores.
Ew.
And then there were specific deaths common on each holiday.
What?
So the Christmas tree fires for Christmas.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Noxious egg dyes for Easter. Halloween masks.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I guess like maybe they were made of like you put it over your
Leached
face and
into
you
your
breathe
skin.
in like
Oh, that's why they were like fire retardant later?
I don't
Maybe?
know.
I don't know.
And then fireworks.
And dress disembowelings on weddings, right?
Oof.
I don't know.
Ooh, we're at the Strange Ways to Die part.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
Okay, so the book that I mentioned earlier was like a compendium of a bunch of old-timey newspaper articles. So I have 4 little blurbs here that I'm going to read. Strange Ways to Die in the Victorian Era. 3 of them are children, just warning you. Okay. Master Jesse Pratt, aged 11, of Lanesboro, Massachusetts, spent a whole forenoon in somersaulting, in consequence of which his bowels became so twisted and tied into knots that in 10 days the derangement proved fatal.
That is
That
like
can't be true.
mesenteric torsion. That's like what my dog had.
He did so many somersaults, he died?
He spent a whole
Is that what-
forenoon in somersaulting.
Not your
No.
dog, the kid.
Oh, yes.
kid, yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
The kid did so many somersaults. That can't be true.
Yeah.
Something else
Well,
wrong.
but in like animals, they still don't know why it happens. But one of the things they suspect is if they eat too fast.
Yeah, I've heard that.
That makes sense to you?
Yeah, but I just don't get the somersault thing.
Well,
A lot of give us a fuckload of somersaults.
see, the thing, though, is that they didn't understand most causes of death, so they just were like, "Oh, he was somersaulting, and that
Yeah, they were
must be
like-
what happened."
Master James, what was your son doing before he died? And he was like, he was somersaulting all day. That must have been it.
So that was from 1873.
We're laughing about it. I guess I feel bad.
What if my dog was really doing somersaults
Yeah,
all day?
all day. Now, yeah.
I'm just picturing Biscuit.
All right, next up, in the Bellevue Hospital at New York on Monday night, a poor Irish woman was admitted to the lying-in ward. She gave birth to a babe, and so little attention was paid to the patient that the infant was literally devoured by rats before morning. Its suffering mother being too weak to drive them off the bed, which they swarmed over.
Oh my God.
The baby's
goodness.
feet and head were nearly separated from its body.
Oh, stop.
What?
1860.
This was your favorite part?
Yeah.
Ah!
Beth Ann. A baby got eaten by rats. You're laughing. That's terrible. It's ridiculous.
Oh my
It's ridiculous. In a hospital, it had so many rats.
Did
and
you say in hospital?
in hospital, as
British?
in hospital, so many rats. That's crazy. And she couldn't
She
move.
was too weak to do anything?
Yeah.
So she just had to lay there while her
Oh.
infant got eaten by rats.
That
Yeah.
is horrible.
All right,
Awful.
next. Investigation. Oh, this is my favorite.
Oh,
This is the one
my
that
God.
I had to tell my daughter because I had to tell someone. Investigation by Dr. H. Albert McMurray, coroner of Westmoreland County, into the death of James Henry Pershing, 3-year-old son of Mr. and Mrs. Lawrence Pershing of Grapeville, Pennsylvania, revealed that their child literally was frightened to death. Several days ago, the boy was playing when a cow at pasture in a lot adjoining the house looked in at an open window of the room where the child was. As the little one glanced toward the window, the cow mooed loudly. With a scream, the child collapsed and went into convulsions. A physician was unable to give the boy any relief, and death ensued 12 hours later.
What? Was he friends with the somersault kid?
Beth, if a cow stuck his head in the window and mooed at you, you would die.
I would. Yes, I would.
That's how old was the kid?
3.
3? I mean, maybe, I guess.
And I just picture Countess putting your head through the
Pee-wee.
door at Pee-wee's
Hello.
Playhouse.
Everyone just dies.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
That's terrible. How did they know that? How did they know the cow? Did they interview the cow?
Well,
And it happened 3 days later?
12 hours later he
Oh.
It
died.
was a harrowing 12 hours.
But yeah, well, I think I was just talking to Erin earlier and mentioned that they didn't understand anything about like heart health.
Yeah,
So you
likely.
think he had a heart attack?
It was probably he probably had like a congenital heart defect,
Yeah, and it just kicked it off.
Ugh.
That one moo broke the.
well, it was
cow's back.
loud. It said it moved
Did
loudly.
they arrest the cow for doing that?
It didn't say. So
That was pretty good.
That happened in 1915. All right, this is the final one, and this is an adult. So somehow it makes it a little better. From Canada, in a workroom where many young girls were at work, a mouse suddenly made its appearance on a table, causing considerable commotion and a general stampede. The intruder was seized, however, by a young man who happened to be present. But the mouse slipped out of his hand, running up his sleeve and coming out between his waistcoat and shirt at the neck. The unfortunate man had his mouth open, and the mouse, on the lookout for some convenient place of concealment, entered the man's mouth. And he, in his fright and surprise, swallowed it.
Oh no.
The mouse began to tear and bite inside the man's throat and chest, and the result was that the fellow died after a little time in horrible agony. March 1876.
That is where Terrifier got that scene with
Yeah.
the rats.
Oh, that
No
was
way.
awful, by the way. I watched Terrifier 3 over
Oh, did you?
We'll have to talk about that off air a little bit. But I'm guessing he choked on it. I could see him choking on it.
Yeah.
You know, like blocked his airways.
You sure that
That's
really
not going to sell
happened?
papers.
Like it started biting and
According
gnashing.
to the Milan Exchange.
Mice do not want to go in your mouth.
Yeah,
This one did.
I believe it. I
I
believe
don't
it could have.
know.
And then it
It was
tried to
scared.
go down. He probably just choked
It was
on
scared because everyone was screaming.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I had a mouse go up my pant leg before. It was fine.
I had a ferret go up my pant leg. before.
Why? Where were you that there was a ferret loose?
How loose are your guys' pant legs? I've never had anything.
This happened when I was sleeping.
What?
Yeah.
Where
was the
there
ferret? Where you were
sleeping in a pet shop?
No.
You better explain.
Becky was in town and she had ferrets at the time, and I was staying with her.
And they were out and about at night?
Oh my
House
God.
ferret?
All right, so now we're going to get into the rules.
She just said it so calmly, like I was asleep at the time.
I was asleep. A ferret
ferret
climbed
went
in
up my
my
leg.
pants.
Okay, so we're getting into the rules here. Strict rules for mourning. You had to shroud the mirrors and any portraits to keep the dead from using them as portals.
That's very important.
You must use black bordered stationery for all correspondence. And the border thickness reflected the duration of the mourning. So at the beginning of the mourning period, you would start off with your stationery had very thick black borders. And then as the time went by, the border would get smaller and smaller.
Very specific.
So how small was Queen Victoria's border? Because she mourned for 4 years.
Oh
yeah,
my
for real.
goodness.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, here's the really interesting stuff is the mourning dress. So rules varied by age and gender. Men wore all black if their wife died, but they could return to work and remarry whenever they want. And they wore black armbands for a short period if anyone else died. So
Anyone else?
they only dressed in black for their wife. The use of black may trace back to ancient Rome because I guess they wore dark-colored togas when people died.
It had nothing to do with Prince Goth.
No. All right, women, mourning dress was expected for 2 years, especially if they were close to the deceased, like widows. And there were 3 stages. So the 2 years are broken up into 3 stages. First one, full mourning, 1 year and 1 day. They had to wear dull black clothing, jewelry made of jet, a weeping veil of black crepe, and that had to go over your face. And you could only leave home to go to church for a year and a day.
What?
But of course, people weren't like hanging out in their Victorian homes in their pajamas, so they had to like wear all the fancy black dresses and stuff all day.
I'd be lying about how close I was. I'd be like, I did not care.
Was this, what are the rules on like how, is this like any family member dies, you're doing this?
Yeah, basically.
And was this like a higher society thing or was this like everybody? It's expected
It
to do
started
this.
with the higher society people, and then it just became a thing where like other people were like, well, this is what the rich people do, so this must be what we should do. Second mourning was the next 9 months. They were allowed to add minor ornamentation to their garments. For example, fabric trim or non-jet jewelry.
What is jet?
It's a black gemstone.
Really?
Yes.
Why you know about gemstones?
I'm a fucking gemstone master. I don't know.
It's similar to bakelite because actually some museum had some bakelite jewelry on display, black.
So it's like a black plastic.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've seen those like carved.
Yeah, they're easy to carve and manipulate. The veil could be lifted and worn back over the head. So many older widows just stayed in this second mourning period for the rest of their lives, like Queen Victoria did.
Jeez.
So then half mourning was the final 3 to 6 months. So more elaborate trim was allowed, gradually eased back into regular jewelry and fabrics, and you could add an accent color to your outfits. Popular colors were white, purple, mauve, gray, and dark red. I thought this was really interesting. I had no idea. Some department stores offered personal shopping services for women in mourning. So they could just go to this place and a professional widow, that's what they called them, a professional widow would come to help them choose dresses, hats, gloves, stockings, veils, all that stuff, and then would deliver it to their homes or...
Well, yeah, if they can't go out.
Yeah, take orders for mourning stationery. Basically, that's their professional widow.
This was like a big part of their like economy. It sounds like
it was
like a whole industry of mourning clothing.
It's like having the apps today where they go shop for you, like
Instacart.
Yeah,
except
for mourning.
I would like one.
Yeah, I can't.
Weeping veil. Size.
I
medium.
need thick border.
Let me double dash that and get a jet necklace from Walgreens.
All right, the next section is about funeral traditions. So, at the time, people were most afraid of being buried alive or having their body snatched after they were buried. Undertakers would hold bodies for as long as the family wanted to make sure that the person was actually dead. Interestingly, so before there were morticians to do this, barbers would be hired to touch up the dead people's faces before viewing. They would use watercolor paints.
Ooh.
I had heard that barbers they would use them for that.
Yeah,
I didn't know
barber surgeons.
Yeah.
That was I remember learning about them in school. Barber surgeons. That used to be a thing where like you were a barber, but also you did surgeries.
That's weird.
Yeah. The Victorian era brought about a new era in embalming methods. They started injecting stuff into the arteries. Previously, they tried to keep people fresh with honey, salt, alcohol, or arsenic.
It's fresh arsenic.
Yeah. So chemists and doctors were creating all these new formulas to inject into people's arteries for that
so they injected honey into them before?
I think they
wonder what their thought process
they
was.
just slathered
honey on them.
Trying stuff.
Oh my god!
And salt.
Well, salt.
I don't know.
They probably thought like preserved meat.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if we chuck a bunch of salt on this body, it'll.
I thought they would just cover them in flowers.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, slathered in honey. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, so viewings and funerals were
What are you laughing at?
I just thought about the heavyweight scene where they cover that. Do you guys familiar with heavyweight?
No.
Oh, well then they cover one of the camp counselors in honey and tie him to a tree, and then a bear comes and.
I was gonna say all the bears are coming to the funeral because they have the viewing in their house, right?
Yeah, viewings and funerals were typically held at home, but they were becoming more elaborate at the time. The more elaborate the funeral, the greater a person's standing in society. I guess that's still true today. According to one undertaker, it cost about $400 to bury a, quote, man of any consequence at the time. That is equivalent to $16,000 today.
Oh, well, that is about what it is.
Which is interesting because the current national median cost of a typical funeral is like about $8,300.
$8,300?
So, like, they were spending twice that on these wild funerals.
Do you remember when we went to a funeral and there was like a monk that was giving a eulogy and he just burped in the middle of it and kept
He was
talking?
a monk?
That's what I remember. I don't know why, but he burped.
I don't think he was a monk.
That's what it's on the list.
I do remember that he burped during the
He burped and kept talking, and we were the only ones that noticed.
And then a 3-year-old in the audience got scared and died.
Oh my gosh.
It's coming up next.
So he gave another eulogy.
And his stationery was like 2 inches thick.
Very thick.
Some of the stuff that was driving up costs were satin-lined coffins were popular, as well as ice, keeping the body on ice, horse-drawn hearses, stenographers. They had people who would sit there and write out the eulogy as it was being. I wonder if they'd have to put brackets burp.
Some asterisks on either side of it.
Here's something else that I had no idea about. Did you ever hear about funeral cakes?
No.
I don't know.
Not anything like urinal cakes, just in case you were wondering. So
It's for the funeral of like people you didn't like. And you
I'm surprised a lot of women have no idea what urinal cakes are.
Really?
They have no clue.
Why?
Because you've never experienced one in your life ever.
So what? I know what
I've ran into a lot of women who had like we'd mentioned urinal
What
cakes.
do you do? Interview them?
Yeah, I have a
Have
show.
you ever heard of a urinal cake?
How many women have you run into that don't know?
Honest.
More than 5.
Be specific. How's that come up more than 5 times with
Women,
you and
women, if you are listening, if you don't know what a urinal cake is, I actually
Women-
just thought you have no way of contact. Just shout it out your window.
Women, if
and
you're
I'll hear you.
listening and you are one of the 5 people that brought up urinal cakes with Ken, I need to hear from
I
you.
guarantee
I
you,
don't believe you.
someone comment on something about this episode that you don't know what a urinal cake is. Be honest.
You did not talk to more than 5 women about urinal
I talk to women
cakes.
all the time
You
about
did
things I pee
not.
on, Erin. You have no clue.
No, you did not.
Sorry, this is
You are
derailing.
lying.
Beth, I'm sorry.
You better be.
Urinal cake.
Funeral guests received this cake called arvel. I'm assuming that's how you say it. Arval, arvel, which were spiced sweet bread or cakes wrapped in paper and sealed with black wax.
No,
They
don't
often
know
had a
about those.
printed poem or hymn on the outside.
Why did we stop doing that?
I don't
Funeral
know.
Cakes.
That
But
sounds
they
nice,
would give
When
that.
I die, can you make sure there's funeral cakes?
Yes,
Thank you.
I will make arvel for your funeral.
I just want Twinkies at mine.
So those were actually, they were kind of given as like party favors.
Yeah.
They were like, here you go. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming.
Well, if everyone was coming over to your house,
Yeah.
right? You know, like,
that's
hey,
true.
feed them. So
Yeah, true. Likely came from the early practice of sin eating, which was when they would
I
have
do that.
a person hired to eat and drink over a coffin.
What?
So that the dead person's sins would transfer to them.
Wait,
So
what?
that the dead person would go to heaven.
So
I
like
am confused.
their sins get sucked into the food, and then the person
Yes.
eating the food takes their sins.
Yes, they had to like stand right next to their
But then they're the sinner?
I guess.
There's just a dude there with a bucket of chicken.
I get because then the person who's alive can go to confession, but the dead person
And then they just
can't.
get buried with all these crumbs in their coffin
I guess
and urinal cakes.
Yep.
Weird.
it may stem from an even earlier practice of ceremonial cannibalism.
Oh, excuse me.
Wait, how is that related at all? Would they eat a person instead?
Go back. Yeah, that was a good rewind.
That didn't, yeah, it didn't
Could
sound-
stem
That
from
was
even
rewind.
earlier practice of ceremonial cannibalism.
Insert a rewind sound.
They would, eat pieces of the dead person.
Who's we or they?
You're being very casual about who?
I don't know.
Just they.
How far back does this go, Beth?
So they would eat the dead in order to.
Just
Set
pieces.
them free.
Oh, so like, hey, his arm is when he did some slander.
What?
So let me eat the arm and take that sin.
No, this doesn't have anything to do with the sin eating. They're trying to figure out where the funeral cake thing came from.
Oh,
was
it
either
may be
from
related
sin
to-
eating or from cannibalism.
So
That's
it's
a
supposed to
stretch.
represent like their body.
I guess. So mourning objects. Of course, everyone has probably heard of post-mortem photography.
Mm.
Oh, I collect those. Did you know that, Ken?
It could be its own full episode. So I just put some basic things in. If I tried to do more, I would have gone down a rabbit hole. So it was common from 1839 when the daguerreotype was invented till the 1930s. Since photography was so new and expensive and infant mortality was so high, families often didn't have pictures taken of their children otherwise. Victorians were much more comfortable with corpses than we are today because they were accustomed to like handling them, preparing
They
them
were
for
so goth.
burial or whatever. Subjects often appear asleep, sometimes alone and sometimes with family members.
What else would they
Hidden
appear
mothers.
like?
Usually the family member would look like they
you know-
would rather be anywhere but there
Do you
next
know
to a
about
dead
hidden
person.
mothers, Ken?
I have no.
Do you talk about that?
No, I thought that was for any baby. Because we even did
common
that
in
at when I did portraits at Sears. We even did that.
You covered people with a sheet?
Yeah, we put the mom behind the muslin.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Wait, you did post-mortem picture photography at Sears?
No.
Oh my goodness.
No, they were alive. Everybody was
Still
alive.
very
You're
mainstream.
talking about putting sheets over people.
Everyone I photographed was alive.
Hidden mother was when they would put like a sheet over the mother, and the mother would hold the dead baby for the postmortem, and it's supposed to just be like
a
the
Halloween
baby.
ghost?
You're not supposed to know. You don't know the mother's there.
Yeah, you're not supposed
They
to
have the
know
eyes
she's
cut out
there,
and
but it's
everything?
very obvious.
No.
Oh, it's just supposed to be like what?
That reminded me of
draping,
Gotcha. Just to
hiding.
But why put the
Hidden
mother? Why put the mother in at all? Then?
Hidden. Because where else are you going to put a dead baby?
On the floor?
No, you
It's
are not
going
putting
anywhere.
a dead baby on the floor.
It's not going anywhere.
You aren't. You are not.
Sorry.
No.
I don't. It's just
In
weird.
its
This is
mother's
weird.
arms, that is the only
Hidden I
place
got
for it.
Okay.
Now listen, Erin knows everything there is to know about. No, that was spirit photography that you knew about.
It was.
When we were in college, Erin gave a report on spirit photography, and I dared her to wear a sheet with eye holes cut out, and she did it. And she got points taken off because she kept pulling on the sheet.
I kept readjusting my eye holes so I could see my paper, and he gave me a B because of that.
Erin, that's fucking hilarious.
It was.
I wouldn't take points off for that. It's amazing.
It was mainly because I was too nervous to give the report, and so having a sheet over me made me feel safer.
Yeah.
I went out to the hallway.
It's her turn. She's like, "I'll be right back." She
I went
goes
out
into
to
the
the
hallway,
hall.
puts the sheet on, comes back in.
Was everyone laughing?
Oh yes. Oh yes. But then do you know what I dared you to do?
Yeah.
So I dared her to find a way to make a reference to Captain and Tennille in her paper.
Okay.
What was your paper about? Do you remember?
It was on photographs not being of what they look like they are of.
What?
I think I know what you
Like,
mean. Periodelia. Isn't that what that word means? I might have just
Cordelia? I don't know.
spit out like some perverted word
Cordelia Dickey?
that's gonna out me as some kind of pervert.
Yeah, that does sound like something like you.
I think it's periodelia, a psychological phenomenon of perceiving meaningful patterns, especially faces, in random or ambiguous visual stimuli.
No,
Yeah, I
that's
think
different, isn't it?
I think
You
it's
did
similar.
not do a paper on that.
No. I remember talking about
That's like seeing faces in inanimate
Film
objects.
Like in a
Noir.
cloud.
Or like
Okay.
seeing Jesus' face on a
In
piece of
toast,
toast.
yeah. So, but didn't you bring it as a prop?
I did. I brought a Captain and Tennille album
Yeah.
with the picture of them on it, and I said something about like this may look like a sea captain and his
Oh,
wife,
But it's not.
but guess what? He's not a real captain.
Yeah. So we were.
That was
We
it?
used to-
Yeah.
That was your paper?
She made the reference, and we both completed our dare. We used to just do things to entertain ourselves to get by in college. Do you remember how we would write notes to each other when we were like giving presentations? Like I would write the words. Do you know that band P-Lander Z?
Never heard of it.
Okay, so they would sing songs about like steak, and they'd make you go on stage and like hold up the sign that says steak, and everyone would yell steak. So I would write like steak on a piece of paper and hold it up like so just Beth could see it when she was in the front of the room and try to not make her laugh.
And at the shows, you would have to yell out because they would yell out, "How do you like your steak?" And then you would yell out, "Medium rare."
Okay.
Nope.
Where
Next.
were we even at?
I was about to highly recommend Beyond the Dark Veil if you're interested in.
I have that.
So do I. If you're interested in post-mortem photography.
I think I bought it for you.
I think you did. I put a link to purchase it in the show notes in case you're
How nice of
interested.
you.
I
Nice.
found an independent seller, and I found the best price that I could find.
You are so helpful.
I know. Okay. Some other mourning articles were people would take the ashes and mix it with silicate of soda, whatever that is, to make statues, busts, or paperweights.
Oh, you can. Did you know you can put ashes in a record these days?
I saw
I've
that,
seen
I
that,
think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
we've evolved.
Is it mixed in with
Yeah.
the stuff or is it like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mixed in.
So it probably looks like
does it look any
concrete.
different?
Oh.
I mean, you know what they look like, the ashes, right?
Gray dirt?
Yeah, pretty much. And you can see it in the vinyl.
Would you
It
like
would
to be?
Oh, you're asking because it would not be black vinyl. It would be like
That's what
a
I mean.
colored.
Yeah. It would be
like
like,
a
a
clear-
white or
yeah.
clear mixed
Yeah.
with. Do you want to be immortalized in a record when you?
I wouldn't mind.
Well-
I like the idea of like a little jewelry item or something though.
What would you pick? as a record?
A necklace? Oh, as a record?
Yeah. What's your death record?
What's my death
What's your
record?
ashes?
Do they actually put music on it?
I would
have no
think
idea.
that's the point. Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't know. You get to choose.
Why wouldn't you?
Because you can't just take any other band's music and do that. It's copyrighted.
They wouldn't know. People make
you can't
records all
do
the
that.
time.
No, I don't think you get to choose your own music.
All right.
Let's see. Mourning and memorial cards. They were often used as invitations, and they would have the name and funeral date on there.
That's what they still do.
Well, they're kind of like the things that you pick up when you go to a viewing.
That's what I'm saying.
But they would send these like invitations. Early examples were engraved in wood with traditional icons of mortality like skeletons, skull and crossbones, hourglasses, that kind of thing.
I'd like to get that wood.
Later examples of the memorial cards were made of pierced paper, where it was like a black background, and then it looked the paper kind of looked like a doily, like it had the little
Like
piercings in
lace?
it. And they would feature weeping angels, lilies, and crosses, and that kind of stuff.
They had such a flair. You know what I mean? Like everything's
Yes.
so boring now.
So fancy.
Yeah.
Hair jewelry. Is this what you were
Ooh.
thinking of that you would like to?
No, not quite. Well, I mean, I could. And I do have a friend named Diane, and she does Victorian hair artwork.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's beautiful.
So people have made jewelry from human hair since at least the Middle Ages, although back then it was usually pubes.
What?
Hang on a minute. You're making all this up.
You are lying.
Pube jewelry?
No, because I read something that said that in the Middle Ages, like a woman would give a wreath that she made.
How long were they growing
of her
their
own
pubes?
pubes?
You are lying.
They didn't have razors back then.
So what? They
They
don't just
probably
keep
grew their
growing and
whole lives.
growing.
It's like
They
Rapunzel.
do not just keep growing.
Rapunzel had a
Rapunzel, let down your pubes.
let down your pube hair. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down those glorious pubis. He climbed right up the snatch vines.
Oh my God!
What? It's in this fairy
That
tale.
is getting cut out.
Snatch vines is staying in. Erin.
No snatch vines.
Women
Staying-
traditionally
staying
grew their hair out their entire lives on their head
Yeah.
and elsewhere.
No.
They
No,
stop
well,
at
I
a certain
just-
point.
See, even Ken knows
Yeah,
about women's
no, they
pubes.
don't. Yeah, I know a lot about it actually.
So they wore their hair loose when they were young and then pinned up as an adult.
Pubic?
So that it was like supposed to, signify when they started wearing their hair up that they were a woman. Friends would exchange locks of hair with each other. And
Pubes?
We're not talking about pubes anymore.
and put them in their scrapbooks. Yeah, scrapbooking was really big during the Victorian era, I guess. So, so they were intricately woven hair jewels made to commemorate births, engagements, and deaths. They were often commissioned, but they were really expensive. So there would be DIY instructions in like some manuals, newspapers, and magazines. Oh, God.
Do not put that
It's like,
visual
what
in
if
my head.
I got all these pubes. I don't know what to do with them. Someone help.
Oh my God. We're never getting through this
No, we're
episode.
This might be a two.
The
might-
sound effect of you plucking
Oh, God.
Do yours not make that sound? when you pull them out?
Oh, stop. Ooh.
So the only way you could be sure that it was your dead relative's hair that was used was to do it yourself.
Wait. Do it yourself?
My pants.
Hey, Uncle Bob's over there in the casket. Why don't you go pluck a couple? I'm gonna put it in my scrapbook.
We gotta do it ourselves.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow.
So a lot of times it would be like a locket, and it would be engraved. And some popular grieving slogans were "Not lost but gone before," "In memory of," and my personal favorite, "Prepare to follow."
Prepare to follow.
Yeah.
Follow what? Oh, like you're next.
Like, yeah.
In death.
You're next. Make sure you grow them out before you go.
Prepare
So we
to
got-
follow.
More hair.
All right, this is the last section. It's on museum collections. So the Hudson River Museum in Yonkers, New York, did a mourning-themed curator tour from home in 2020. Remember when
Mhm.
everybody was doing those kind of things? I watched one of the Lizzie Borden house.
Really?
Anyway,
I drove my car through the zoo.
yeah, me too.
Oh, during COVID?
Yeah.
I didn't do anything weird like that.
I ordered a margarita to go. Thanks, Mike DeWine. So the tour featured jetstone jewelry, accessories accented with human hair, post-mortem photography, and other mourning objects. So there's also a link to the recording of that tour in the show notes.
Cool.
It's pretty interesting. I didn't watch the whole thing, but
She's
Are you
trying to
okay,
keep herself
Erin?
together because you mentioned hair again.
Me and Ken looked at each other
I-
and we're like, oh, okay.
the Pitt Rivers Museum at the University of Oxford in the UK
Stop.
has several artifacts in its collection, including a black velvet pall cloth for a horse-drawn hearse, black fringed velvet apron for the driver. Very fancy.
Ooh.
A paper wrapper from Orville, some black silk sunshades, a black silk shawl. A lot of stuff was made of silk, I guess. Many black buttons, brooches made of jet, glass, or bakelite, a long necklace of jet and black silk, mourning stationery, and more memorial medallions.
Can I just say how weird it is that we did 2 episodes today and they both talked about Bakelite? What are the
That is,
chances?
I hadn't heard of this substance
That's so
until
weird.
today. And yeah, both of you guys independently mentioned it.
Yeah, it's weird.
The National Museum of Funeral History in Houston has permanent exhibits on 19th century mourning and the history of postmortem photography. Both Museum of Death locations, Hollywood and New Orleans, have related items on display, including antique morticians' tools and more. And I think you've been to the Hollywood one, so
True. Yeah.
they had a pretty big display of like
they did.
funeral history stuff.
Yep.
And then the Anatomy of Death Museum in Mount Clemens, Michigan, pretty new,
Ooh, I want to go there.
has Victorian embalming equipment, antique coffins and caskets, 3 authentic Victorian horse-drawn hearses,
Wow.
and other related artifacts.
So it's gotta be big.
They also operate Mortuary Manor, which is even newer. It's in Toledo, and it's located in a real haunted Victorian funeral home
Oh.
built
Did
in
you guys know about that?
1889.
No.
Toledo. That's
Wait, so what
close.
is it?
Yeah. Well, I'm not really sure
You
because
sleep there?
it's still, well, they do ghost tour, like paranormal investigations and stuff, but it's also, there's a museum inside of it, is part of it.
We should see if they'd let us do an episode there.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I'm not sure whether the items that I mentioned before, if they moved to this location or if they're still at the Anatomy of Death Museum. But I think we
We'll
should
have
go to
to
both.
go and find out. Yep.
Yeah.
Michigan also has that serial killer restaurant that just opened.
Serial
about
killer
that?
restaurant?
No.
Yeah, so it's last meals that
Oh,
prisoners
I've-
requested. And
Oh.
then they bought a storefront to do a museum too. And it's like you can look at the museum while you're waiting for your table.
I thought you meant it was like themed. So it's like, here's the Gacy chili. And you're like, oh, cool.
I mean,
Or like, it looks like
maybe.
fingers.
I don't know.
Well, that's
So would they have things like when someone asks for like a bucket of fried chicken and
Because
like
of Gacy,
Yeah.
yeah.
a piece of cornbread?
Yeah.
And so that would be like a menu item.
that's kind of
Well,
cool.
I'm assuming you have to choose what they have on the menu. You
Yeah.
can't just make up your favorite prisoner's
Well, no,
last meal.
no, I mean if that was someone's, would they put it on the menu like that?
Yes.
I think
a
that would be
bucket
cool,
of chicken and a
actually.
piece of cornbread.
I like
yes.
this idea because you never. That's probably a very eclectic menu.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
probably like
someone who is the prisoner that asked for like a single bean.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't remember.
or like a tub of ice cream and
Mm-hmm.
or just like steak and all that cool. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds cool. Where is that?
Michigan.
Michigan.
Well, that's all
That's
I
it?
have.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Are
I mean, I
those-
could have gone way more into it, but I already had 9 pages of notes.
Are
So,
these customs and stuff? Are they still followed at all today, or is it like this is all gone?
probably by steampunk people?
I didn't know
I
if,
don't
if
know.
people followed any of these rules anymore.
I think they've just morphed into more modern versions.
Yeah.
it's weird that they latched onto death so much that it spawned all of these
Well, it
etiquette and
happened
rules and
so often.
And I also had a thought while you were talking about the time frame where it's like a year and a day.
Mhm.
If you have a big family, there's probably women that were just
Constantly,
constantly
in mourning.
Because if
Yeah.
it takes a whole year and a day to get out of it, if someone else dies in the middle of that,
Yeah, you would lose children. Like,
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if you would have to rewind and start over again, or if you
do the
could just
rewind sound.
continue.
There you go. That's
Sounds
a turkey.
Turkey call.
yeah,
Oh
would
my
it would the timer reset? And
Yeah,
you have
that's
to go
what I
back
wanna
your- Or
know.
would you be like, yeah, I'm in the middle already. I don't have to.
Shoo.
That's I enjoyed all of that. I like the death stories.
It was really interesting to read about and hard to decide what to include.
I'm sure each of those categories you could go deeper into.
Mm-hmm.
On any of those categories, I'm sure. But it was nice to see that over, because I didn't know much about most of that. I knew about the photographies. That's what I was going to ask. In these photography pictures, like the death ones, are their eyes open? Do they like pin their eyes open? Are they closed?
So it's different. Sometimes they would draw their eyes open when they were
like
closed.
on their lids, on their
Yes,
eyes?
yes, on the picture.
On the picture. Not actually on their eyelids.
On the picture.
But it's all manners of.
Gotcha. Different. So that was probably a whole profession too. They had mortuary photographers. They had people, personal shoppers for your all of your mourning needs.
The creepiest pictures, I think, are the ones with like the siblings, because you can tell that like when they put them next to the dead sibling, they just look like like really
Was there
freaked out.
a like religious reason they did, like what was the reasoning behind let's take a picture of our dead relative, and what would they do with these pictures also once they had them?
Just for
Basically-
remembrance.
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't know if it
Yeah,
was.
basically photography was still so new and expensive that like people didn't really take pictures. But then if someone died, they were like,
That might
well,
be
we
the
want to
only-
remember that person,
Yeah.
so we better take a picture.
Gotcha.
And also pictures took a really long time too. So like if the kid would be sitting there with their dead sibling, like holding him up for like hours
Yeah.
while the photographer tried to get the picture. Yeah. So
You know what's weird? I collect old like funeral home items, and I have a sign hanging, and it says whoever the guy's name is, undertaking and furniture. So
Was it
I'm guessing,
referring
like,
to like the coffins?
caskets? Yeah. Isn't that a
Or
weird
he
hobby?
was.
It's like the barber mortician and
Yeah, he sold
undertaking and furniture.
upholstered chairs.
I need a new dining room table and a casket.
Yeah. Hey man, it's convenient.
Hmm.
yeah, it's good to diversify.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening to this
Yes.
little history, a little more morbidity.
Morbidity.
Yeah, it was a heaping helping
Of morbidity.
Of morbidity today. So thank you
Yes.
for that, Beth.
Of course.
Beth and I have a list of everything in the world that we think is funny that we started when we were 12 years old. Here's something we're going to tell you about. One time, a guy said to me, "How long are your periods?" He meant school. I didn't think that. He got really mad at me when I refused to answer. Bye.
This has been Got the Morbs, an oddcast. If you enjoy hearing us talk about spooky, weird, gross stuff in a wildly inappropriate manner, please rate, review, and subscribe on whatever platform you use for podcasts. These things don't take much time to do, and they can really help us gain visibility and grow the show. You can also follow us on Instagram at Got the Morbs Oddcast, or over on Facebook at Got the Morbs and Oddcast. Oh, and we also accept topic suggestions and love letters at gotthemorbsoddcast@gmail.com. Thanks, Morbies.